So what do the elites of the 1300s and today both have in common? Aside from thinking you're a lazy piece of shit for asking for a living wage. And what does it have to do with revolt? Come on, I'll show you. So the Black Death fucked some stuff up. Like the mountain goat said, the delicate balance has shifted. And now the old way of doing things just doesn't work. So the way most places operated, in this case, England, was under something known as the manorial system. And in school, you might see a diagram like this, showing how everything in this little community is completely self-contained. Everything that you need to survive is in this one little community. Your butcher, your baker, your candlestick maker, they're all there. And apart from being reasonable, everything looks so cute and tidy. And that's one of the things I find fascinating about history. Names of things can seem so benign on their surface. Hey, you get to live in a nice little self-contained community has a better ring to it than you have to live in this open-air prison, where you and everyone you know work your entire lives merely to support the local manor and the lord that lives in it. And if you dare to leave, you will be considered a thief and punished accordingly. But with half the population kaput, all that's going to change. Because now you have opportunities that just weren't there before. I always wanted to be a blacksmith, but there was no way I was going to get that fancy of a position. Oh, would you look at that? All the town blacksmiths just died. It looks like a spot just opened up. Or hey, the manor over doesn't have enough workers to survive. My lord tells me I can't leave. But also if I make it over to the other manor, they're willing to pay me more. And now as the system invariably goes into flux, the ruling elite do their best to try to stop it. This isn't happening. This isn't happening, they say. They do everything in their power to try to stop it. They pass multiple laws, freezing wages at pre-plague levels. You need a higher minimum wage because we just lived through an unprecedented illness? The fuck's the matter with you? Don't even think about leaving your little manor in search of better work. If we catch you doing that shit, we will brand you. If threats of physical force don't work, there's always shame. We'll have people write songs and poems about the immoral, greedy workers who are driving up the prices for everybody else. Celebrate the just landowner who are merely trying to keep prices down. I feel like there's a new country album in there somewhere. It turns out when you have once-in-a-generation's opportunity to improve your lot in life, that shit doesn't work. So the laws became harder and harder to enforce. People not paying taxes. People seizing back animals that were taken by the crown. Attacking local officials. So much so that it made it hard to fill those positions. But everything comes to a head in 1381, when one of the king's men is out collecting taxes. People tell him to go fuck himself, and the violence begins to spread. Eventually, a guy by the name of Wat Tyler is going to lead this uprising, also known as the Peasants' Revolt. And they're going to march their happy asses all the way down to London. Up to London. They're also led by a charismatic preacher named John Ball, because everybody needs a hype man. Yeah! And while this might not get a ton of traction, this was not some little uprising. This thing actually had some legs. The peasants actually make it into the city of London. The King, Philip II, has to seek refuge in the Tower of London. And eventually he tells the peasants, fine, I'll concede to your demands, which were lower taxes, in servitude, aka let us move from place to place, and get your government officials off our backs. Philip II says, sure thing. Now can you get the fuck out? 2 days later on June 15th, which is an absolutely awesome day and should be celebrated everywhere worldwide, for no reason in particular. King Philip goes out to meet with Wat Tyler to discuss further details. It should be noted that the king is only 14 years old here. I don't know what you were doing at 14, but I certainly wasn't doing anything productive. King Philip was because there was a disagreement with Wat Tyler, and in the skirmish, Wat Tyler goes the way of the dodo. Not by King Philip's hand, just to be clear. Things settled down just long enough for him to say, now that you have no leader, it turns out I had my fingers crossed when I made all those promises to you earlier. Had Wat Tyler pressed his advantage 2 days earlier, who knows how this would have turned out. But in the end, it turned out to be an almost successful revolt, which translates to 1,500 of the rebels are eventually tried and sent the way of Wat Tyler. Turns out almost successful rebellions do not exist. As it turns out, power concedes nothing without demand. Anyway, next time we start making demands of the church. I wonder how they'll react.